welcome to another episode of Who Gives a Hoot? Special MLS trumping edition.
And in person.
And in person.
Video and in person. In like 3 episodes we've gone from Zoom to here we are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have Ryan or Ben.
Well, they're old.
Yeah, probably asleep right now.
Probably.
If you were following along live with us recording, we're not broadcasting this, obviously, but we're throwing your questions on tweets. We're going to answer them as we go. See how it goes. But we've got some highlights that we're going to feather in from last night. We're recording this on Wednesday, April 20th, of the Union Omaha Chicago Fire game at Soldier Field in front of a stacked 400-person fan. Just, yeah. So, how you guys doing?
Good. It's a wonderful Wednesday night, and still kind of riding high from the win last night.
Yeah, happy to be here.
All right. So, threw it out just a couple minutes ago. Already have a couple of questions coming in. From Brian, contributor to Who Gives a Hoot. Could have asked us earlier offline, but he's got to throw it on Twitter. Got to be showy like that. How big of an impact in terms of team building does a win like this have on a team trying to gel together?
Huge impact.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
I think this couch and that chair are not on the same side right now.
I think it probably could have. It could have happened in front of fans at home, and more having the entire community to feed off of with the energy. I think would have done more to build it than a win against the MLS side, but a win against an MLS side in front of 300 salty fans.
Okay, but I think clearly based on what we saw from their celebrations, even playing in front of the measly amount of fans they had.
Salty fans.
Yeah, salty fans. It was still memorable for them and very exciting. If we were at home, it would also be exciting.
Yeah.
But Soldier Field, playing against an MLS team, you just have to think that that's a boost of confidence, and that's something that they're all going to remember, even if they lost.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're wrong. Because the situation could have been better doesn't mean that it doesn't have the same impact on the team. I don't think that beating an MLS team is lost on anyone, whether it's in front of 400 fans in Soldier Field or it's at Caniglia in front of 2,000. That's weird that one of those numbers is bigger than the other, but the point still remains. Just because the situation could have been better doesn't mean it doesn't hold the same value.
I think just always playing in front of the home side is going to be a little bit more. I feel like some of the biggest wins where team culture, at least from an outside viewpoint, has kind of grown, have been some of those big wins at home, some of those big comebacks. And even the losses at home. I just feel, it builds more. And while it does seem they didn't have to pull out the goggles for this one in the locker room, but it does seem like there was some decent celebrating going on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to. Any game you take a locker room picture for with the whole team obviously means something to the team.
And you have to think about the fact that they had a whole night to sit on it at the hotel, hang out, and travel home on that note. It's just, that in itself is a team bonding experience. Not just going back home to your home, maybe celebrating afterwards, but then just being like, okay, on to another normal day. You have your travel day, you have your victory lap. And
Are you saying you'd rather them stay at a hotel the night after a win?
No, I'm not.
All right. Sorry, that was a very pointed question from me to you. But Okay, similar vein coming from Catherine. After seeing the team play last night, how is everyone feeling about the team we're bringing to the league this season? Does this change anyone's mind based on what we saw Saturday compared to Tuesday? Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Honestly, I think that as soon as I saw the team play against Des Moines, and like full credit to Des Moines, they played a really good game and they're a good side, but Union Omaha is better. But so with that in mind, I think that from that point of seeing them play live, it kind of just clicked in my head. I kind of had a good feeling about the team. So even after Saturday, I don't think my
Where did you
opinion's
put them
changed.
on your power rankings?
Who?
Union Omaha.
Number one?
Okay. So you and I, like, it doesn't change our mind, really.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're the optimists
Yeah.
of the media empire.
If I were playing devil's advocate, though, I could say that what if we see a huge range here with a lot of room for error and a lot of room for success? You know, it could be a lot of great games and it could be a lot of games where we, for example, like Tormenta, where it's like, what's happening because we've seen these great games, you know? That could be a thought for somebody. You know, that's up for discussion.
I think there's still a lot of room to grow for so many of these kids. There's only one player on the team older than me, so I feel like it's safe to call everybody kids.
That's fair.
I realize that, and that's sad.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. But seeing the way Ryan was playing compared to where he was even 2 weeks ago, where he was a month ago, huge. Seeing Gabe step in, get his second start, played a heck of a game, had some errors, but I mean, he's playing against, I would say, a solid MLS side.
Yeah.
Chicago Fire fans on Twitter would say that this was their C team.
It's always the something when a team that wasn't supposed to win wins.
I'll say that I really think that we held our own in a way that surprised me, but it still
You didn't
showed.
talk a lot during the game, so that's how I knew that
Yeah.
something was happening, because you always talk during games. And after them and before them, but during them too.
Yeah, but it was surprising to me how well everybody was playing, but there was still a lot of hesitancy in the way we were playing that I felt a more seasoned side, last year's side, even 2 years ago side, where you had 4 months of building that chemistry and COVID, like that. Those 2 previous years, I feel like would have gone into that game a lot more confident, and I'm not sure that would have been a better thing.
What I also will say is, one, there's a lot of room for growth that I can see, and already we've seen a ton. But on top of that, I've seen that this team is driven by support already and driven by a challenge. I mean, when you have a game that you could really anticipate and build up to, they've already shown that they'll perform for it. Then we go into Tormenta and we see that it's not a challenge and it's not something to anticipate necessarily, what we sort of thought as well, and there's a different result. So is it something where we almost have to really anticipate every single game to get that result based on the individuals on the team? I mean, from what I've seen, that is the passion that is driving these players.
All right. Next question, I feel like we can kind of answer going through, but let's jump into the first highlight. You compiled this because you have the better tactical mind of the three of us. Easily. Pretty much straight off the bat here, beginning of the 4th minute, or apparently not. Sorry, our technical assistant has done better other nights.
We hired him for nothing.
I know. He even brought his own beer.
So here what we're seeing at the beginning of the game is already a yellow card right off the bat. And it kind of set the tone for what we were going to see as far as a challenge.
I mean, we're coming out very aggressive, which is something you definitely want to see. Fire team seems to be very much caught off guard.
Yeah.
In how aggressive we were coming out, and their physicality right there was very apparent that it wasn't planned physicality; it was reactionary physicality.
Mm-hmm. And also, what I will say is that even the commentator said it was a young player. That young player was probably really excited about the game too, and it just went in a little bit too.
Chicago had 7 players? It was their first team start, not their first pro game, but their first team start.
Yeah.
Who did we have anybody who was their first pro start last night?
No, I don't think so.
It was Kamal's first start for us.
Yeah, but not first.
And Alex's first start, right?
First start.
Alex
yes.
Bruce's first start,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So a couple first starts, but we had Gabe's a month out of school. Played fantastically. Ryan is fresh out of junior college. We've seen him be integral in this Union Omaha side so far. Mm-hmm. But 7 guys, their first team start, against a third division side, that's not saying anything. If the thought was they weren't able to play at the Chicago Fire level, they wouldn't have been signed and they wouldn't be featuring.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You are signing these players to play to win.
Mm-hmm.
The way Jay Mims has always said it, especially dealing with preseason, is thinking back to Phoenix Rising beginning of the 2021 season where we beat them a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And the Phoenix Rising coach was like, well, we don't always come out here to win. And I believe Jay's response was, why would you go into a game not wanting to win?
Yeah.
I forgot about that comment. That was good times.
Great times. But yeah, I definitely think the physicality of this game it escalated quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was a good amount of yellow cards too for this game. What's next?
While we wait for our Vanna White to pull up the next one, who is this year's Devon's Boys and why is it Dion?
Dion, really?
I don't think it's Dion.
I don't think it's Dion either.
I don't think it's Dion either.
No.
Who do you think it is?
I had the thought last night. You guys go ahead. Let me think.
Honestly, I'm not sure we have one. Devon, very much a special player, but he was kind of an outlier in our squad. He fit in spite of his playing style, not so much his playing style was integral in the way we built the team.
Yeah, I think if we're talking about as far as an outside midfielder who's able to perform and put in some crosses and be physical, Dion can definitely succeed in that. I wouldn't say that's... For me, Devon Boy's style is very energetic no matter what.
Chaos.
Almost the chaos necessary on the field. And what I see, the player that I see doing that is Noe. He came onto the field last night and immediately there was that energy but also that chaos that the Chicago Fire suddenly felt. You know, he came in just sprinting with his, like a chicken with his head cut off at every single defender, and it put him on their heels, you know?
I don't really see that it's chaos from Noe.
Okay.
I think it's more refined than that. Like,
yeah.
He's got to head towards goal, as we saw last night.
Definitely.
But it wasn't chaotic in his execution. It just seems he's a much better off the ball playing than I think Devin was in his first pro year.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think what I was going with the chaos is he creates chaos in the defensive line against him. But I agree. He has that necessary mindset towards goal that was lacking.
I think I've been saying it since the day he signed. He's going to be dangerous, and he showed that against a solid MLS defense.
I will say this. His shot, or his goal, very easily could have ripped through that net. The way that thing rocketed in.
It was a great shot.
Let's not talk about the quality of the nets at Werner Park. All right. So here, 13th minute, got Fire threading it through. Rashid makes this his first big save of the game.
Unexpected save, but it took an effort.
Yeah. Like, he laid out for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't get immediate control on it, but good, quick to recover. It's called as offside.
Yeah.
Which, late calls on offsides, a lot of this, which was interesting considering there's no VAR at this level of the U.S. Open Cup. And I can't remember if they actually even put VAR when you get to the quarterfinals or not.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
But then, turn of play and what should have been a penalty.
That was...
I mean, it's a play for the ball. Like, I understand why it's not, but at the same time, he goes and studs up to that.
Yeah.
And you're a keeper. Why are you going studs up?
Yeah,
like
you should...
that?
Like...
You're in your own box.
Was that Rashid last year? Who were we talking to last year where Rashid went head first into... Oh, it was Greg. Where Rashid would go head first into a save, and I forget which keeper it was that Greg just burned.
Oh.
Because they went feet first into the challenge.
Oh. I can't remember the team, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
And this is very much a timid keeper move. Like,
absolutely.
You're afraid you're going to get hurt instead of trying to control the ball, and you're counting on the ref to protect you.
Yeah.
Like, you can't... I mean, granted, it seems like the refs by the end of the game were very much there to protect them. But it was definitely not the move of a confident keeper.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, what a great ball through by Connor. That was such a dangerous opportunity. But the way that the goalie slid was almost uncoordinated to me. I don't know if it was on purpose, but he did a split almost with
like something you've seen me do before.
No, it was a really weird way to just go in and grab the ball. And
yeah, absolutely.
I honestly don't think that Kamal was expecting the goalie to even get out there that aggressively.
While we're waiting for the next one to pull up, this is one I don't think we have to answer, but I just want to get it out there. Coming from Ed Fox. How many collective fingers would you all like to give the Fire supporters section?
I have no comment.
Okay. That is in reference to apparently there were...
If I speak, I'm in trouble. You know?
There were fingers being extended in general directions of home supporters.
Yeah, I think that the team took care of what they needed to take care of on the field for us last night. And yeah, they took care of it.
So as we're looking here at the 20th minute, corner kick Fire. Our Vanna White is having some difficulties over there. But
I think it's probably a lot less him and a lot more ESPN Plus.
Entirely possible. Thomas Birthday Boy Thomas asking a question. After giving up 3 pens in 4 games, does the state of our defense concern you?
No, they're just a lot of youth, right?
I mean,
I'll let more prominent soccer minds talk on this one, but
I don't know if it's our defense as a whole. It's just those split-second decisions near the goal, those that influence a game. So when you think about being at the professional level, you know how to defend, but then you also have to be aware of where you are on the field and what you're doing. And like I said, the last pod that I was on, you have to consider the referees that we have. I mean, they're going to call something no matter what it might be based on somebody falling on the ground.
well, to Riley's point, we're saying they're young. Half. I mean, Emir is a Swiss Army knife of a defender, midfielder, forward, probably goalkeeper. Give him some gloves. Let's see how he does.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, seriously, he is serviceable at any position on the field.
Yeah.
That we've seen him play. And we've seen him play, I think, 10 of the 11 positions on the field. So let's just give him 11, get it done with, see how it goes. But with Dalton in the center, I personally like Alex Touche in there more than Gabe because there's just a little bit more experience. But I don't think it's youth with Gabe or with Alex. Ryan, as we've discussed ad nauseum, yes, young, needs some finishing, but I don't think it's, for the rest of our defense, a lack of skill there, lack of maturity. I think we're just very much needing our midfield to control more. And I think that's where it breaks down. Like, JP, when playing, has done a lot of covering in the back, but you can't be relying on your 6 to handle that. It needs to start from the top back. And I'm not sure we've seen that from our attackers, who are very much used to we're attackers first and defenders last. Yeah. It's like,
and that's not how Union Omaha plays at all.
J Mims will bench you if you go into that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But let's get to the corner here at 1938, and Rashid makes a very good save there. Just very, very quick ball in. Lines being held by the defense well. Nobody's left unmarked.
But then this.
Honestly, it wasn't even it was unmarked. That was just one heck of a chip.
ESPN Plus is something
else.
And
you know what? That's always, corners are always going to be challenging, but it didn't seem like something that was.
It didn't worry me as much as some of the other ones out there.
Yeah, when was the shot that hit the crossbar? Next one? Oh, a couple minutes later. Hit the crossbar there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, never mind. That was something that I almost pooped my pants about.
I think we all did.
Yeah,
I think
I didn't realize that was a play. It froze when it played back for us. Let's see it one more time. Oh.
I mean, honestly, though, 20 minutes into a game against an MLS side, you haven't given up a great opportunity yet.
Yeah.
And who was that marking? Was that Gutierrez for them?
It looks like nobody because Ryan was on back post.
Yeah.
zoning, so it must have snuck through somewhere, but...
This was also Giovanni's first game for us, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, yeah!
Yeah.
So Giovanni's filling in at that 6th position.
That's right.
First competitive match for us.
Yeah.
JP probably out resting the knock that probably should have rested on Saturday. I would have rather seen Giovanni there.
Yeah.
But not worried significantly about the defense.
No.
This, even there, it wasn't a lapse in judgment. It was quality work by the Fire that resulted in us having to defend in ways we weren't expecting.
At that moment, if I'm being honest, I was before it hit the crossbar, I was thinking, this is eventually going to happen. We're playing an MLS team. They're going to score. But honestly, I think you noticed a shift in the players as well once it hit the crossbar. We're still in this. We're going to work hard. Kind of almost a wake-up call. Hitting the crossbar, almost scoring, and knowing we're still in this. And I think that's when we noticed more of a Fire in Union Omaha.
Yeah. The pressure was turned up a little bit. The pressing was a little higher. The physicality from us went up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is Union Omaha Fire Week.
It is.
I mean, play Fuego on Saturday.
The only thing that...
Ooh. A couple minutes later.
Beginning of the 22:55. Rashid getting caught out. Is that...
I think that was Gabe, right? That slid and cleared that ball? I can't tell from here.
It was definitely Alex Bruce. Going all the way back because...
Talking about forwards defending.
Yeah, absolutely. No, of course it was Dalton.
Yeah, I would say those quick attacks from Chicago were really nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And we did a really good job sprinting back and making sure that we were in front of the goal for those. I mean, just noticing that save from Dalton and how everybody, all 3 defenders were there as well coming back. So it's good to see that there was a quick return in the defense.
But, I mean, as we're showing 40 seconds later, Union Omaha is in Chicago's box, about to put a beautiful shot on goal. It was very... we were getting caught on the counter, but we were returning it, I'd say, better.
How interesting was that? Because now that you say that, I really didn't see existing play in the midfield at all.
No, this was a game played at the ends.
Yeah, it really was.
And you know what? I'll say this. If Alex Bruce scores from outside the box this year, I will get the number 16 tattooed on me somewhere.
You heard it here.
Well, have you asked him what he does for a living?
Yeah, he plays soccer for Union Omaha.
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
Good.
We should have him on the pod sometime.
I mean, might have to. We have to quash this beef.
Oh, it's already where everything's fine.
All right.
Yeah, fun's over.
We didn't even get fist fights. We moved to a video medium and didn't even get a fist fight between the two of you.
I really think that is probably the worst thing that could happen for either of our careers.
All right. Let's see. Do we have any questions while we spool up the next one? All right. Here's a good one from Chris Headley. Did a new starting lineup emerge from the offense?
I think this starting lineup from the past game showed that we have depth in our attacking players.
A lot of it. Yeah.
I honestly have no clue where Mims is going to go for any game for a starting lineup on the attack. So honestly, Probably.
That's an advantage. That's a
Yeah.
huge advantage.
Probably next game we're going to see something different, and the next game after that until, I mean, just like last year at the very end of the season, we saw kind of a solid starting lineup, but...
Well, I'm very good at tracking players' first goals for the club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very
Because it
good.
costs you money.
It cost me money. I wish the same. That's why, like, Greg and Evan last year were great. Score a lot of goals for us. Don't share too much of it. Like, one and done.
You're taking out a loan this year.
Yeah, it seems that way. We had 2 brand new goal scorers.
Yeah.
Granted, one of them's a defender, but Noe gets his. Hugo got his at Madison. Like, we're seeing. Just,
I would bet that Alex Touche is a case you thought you might not buy this year.
I honestly expect. I'm expecting to buy Rashid one this year.
Okay.
Like,
I hope you have to. That would be probably one of my favorite things.
I mean, Rashid almost got one last year. He got that nice assist.
Yeah. I mean, if for any reason Shido's listening to this, go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some solid kicks. Here at 34th minute, 33:50, seeing some quality defending.
I actually can't tell who it was from here.
That was Joe Brito. That was
a really technical tackle.
That was a great tackle. Kept everybody on their feet, and he literally got all ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can ask for.
But, I mean, we're seeing that from Joe in just about every game.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
Like, sneaky
Yeah.
best signing of the offseason in
Wouldn't that
League One.
technically make him the Devin Boyce of the team this year?
Yeah?
If we could say that, put him as the nobody knew his name until he just lit up the field in his first game. Yeah, I suppose we could list him as that. But he's a much more tactically sound player.
This next opportunity and run from Ryan, I was so impressed by this. This is what we've been wanting from Ryan.
Yep.
And what we've been saying we're going to get.
This is at 41:15.
Yep.
Through and Ryan's doing some great run up, threading the ball through.
And I think that was the last time the ref talked to one of the Chicago players about committing a foul all night.
Yep, in the 41st minute.
Very telling, though, that the Fire had to foul Ryan to get him off the ball.
Oh, absolutely.
And you just see him effortlessly get past that defender. Great cross in. Kamal almost got his foot on it. I don't think he actually got his foot on the ball. I think the defender got the foot on the ball. But
I mean,
gosh.
Either way, in that situation,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter as much who gets the foot to the ball because
Yeah.
it could end up in the net just the same.
right. Somebody knocks it in somehow, and yeah, that was dangerous.
If the Fire wasn't already bunkered down due to the foul, I think that would have just caught them. That transition there would have caught them in such a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And the following corner was just about as dangerous.
And that's from Joe there again. Joe's corners, although we've seen Amir starting to take more corners, which is interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because I think Joe's better on both quarters, but putting Joe in there because he is so dangerous has been great. This is here 43rd minute.
Yeah.
And calls for a hand there by Bruce.
I trust him.
Yeah. I mean, he works for a living.
Yeah. That's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah.
I think it definitely hit the thigh, but you might as well try to call it.
I mean, do what you got to do.
The game was really open,
Yeah.
in these last, 5 minutes plus
Yeah.
added time.
And then right after this opportunity, the Fire counterattacks in the 43rd minute. dangerous.
Rashid comes out very, very much necessary. If he didn't come out for that, it would have been a goal against. But solid defending by Rashid.
Yeah.
But he's not the one who saves there. Like,
it was also solid from Dalton to make sure that the other attacker couldn't just head
well,
it directly
exactly.
over the goal.
Dalton was in the correct position at that time.
Yeah.
Ends up making the save.
Yeah, and I mean, to go back to that comment on the PKs that we've seen in the last games, watching this game, the defense, even though we had so many counterattacks that we had to defend, you saw all the players in the right places for the most part, and that's always promising from a defensive lineup. Especially
when, you can see in a play like that where Dalton sees the ball go up in the air, immediately locates the biggest threat, and eliminates it.
Yep.
All right, as we hit the first half of what was going to be four breaks.
It was a wonderful game. I don't think anyone had any complaints up until this point, really.
No, it definitely changed tone. But the question that I skipped at the beginning, who impressed y'all the most? Like, Nuhu for sure, but who else really held the game down? This is coming from Chris Johnson. She says Dalton, man of the match.
Easy.
On the first half, do we think that Dalton was man of the first half?
He made that sliding save that stopped a for sure goal. And then, he stopped 2 goals for sure in the first half, so I don't...
I would have put Joe.
I think there were a couple people. Dalton obviously made some great saves in the first half, kept it going. Joe had some great opportunities, but then I thought Connor had a great first half as well.
Oh yeah,
Connor just had some great through balls.
Yeah.
He was doing what he always does, just the clinical through ball that really opens up so many chances for everybody else. And fully the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what I'll say. This is going to be kind of nerdy, but...
we're on a soccer podcast.
Connor kind of reminds me of Doctor Strange on this team. Because
Can't use his hands.
there's all this chaos going on around him, and it's almost like it's always calm around him. And like when the ball gets to him, immediately it's calm again. And then he distributes it back out into whatever's going on with the offense.
I mean, he's beaten the Chicago Fire before.
Yeah.
Like, he's just reliving past moments. He's like, I've done this before. So could be very, very multiverse Doctor Strange.
I'm thinking that Connor Doyle is the Doctor Strange of Union Omaha.
I'm for it. All right, moving here into the second half. This is where things get rough.
Yeah, I think we could do a whole podcast just on the second half.
All right, so we're here at the 49th minute?
Yeah.
Where Kamal gets fouled.
That's not Kamal.
No, it's like a minute before this.
Yeah,
right here.
Right here. Kamal gets fouled. They call the foul against Kamal.
Yeah, that went against Kamal, and that free kick led directly to this.
Right, okay.
So, a bad call, a wrong call, that leads to an opportunity where our defenders are angry at the call and go into a very poor challenge that led to the first penalty of the night.
Yeah.
Little did Chicago know that they would be facing many more, but...
yeah, this...
Did he trip?
Yeah.
He lost his footing, but the way he lunged into it... and
I mean, it just looked like he was a football player.
Yeah.
Like from the angle that the camera has, it just looks like he kind of was going. But
and I mean that's kind of the unfortunate thing with that sort of situation is whether he did that completely on purpose or 100% accidentally tripped into him, it's a penalty all the same.
We all know it was an accident, but no matter when the play gets stopped in the box and he falls like that.
Who was that with the with the foul there in the box?
Was it Alex?
Ed?
Or Ed?
Was it Mr. No Name? Doesn't have his name on his jersey?
He doesn't?
No.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice.
No. He is the Buo with no name.
Oh.
But I was going to say if it was Gabe, I'm pretty sure Gabe used to play American football.
Oh.
And like that would have made sense, like going into a tackle like that.
Chose the wrong sport.
That in replay, and I'm pretty sure last night when watching it, called that it looked like it was a slip, and
I missed
kind of like where JP's slide in Madison, where lost footing it seemed like, and then
this one was a little bit more dramatic. I think it made some kind of like top 10 flukes of the week replay or something like that for sports media, but I mean, it happens. At least it wasn't somebody who, I mean, I would ask for that over somebody making some kind of ugly foul in the box, you know? It happens.
But, no matter how you cut that, unfortunately, it's never about the intent, right? Well, I mean, I guess sometimes it is, but in a situation like that, it's never about the intent, it's about the action.
And again, that has no influence on what I would think about the defense.
Right.
For a PK, again. So I'm just going back to that.
And I think both penalties that were given to Chicago were...
Whoo! Here we go with the goal.
They could have gone either way, because with the first one, the foul should have gone our way. Mm-hmm. It didn't. And then the second one, we'll get to it. So.
Yeah. So this is 67th minute. Is that a crossing from Ryan?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
It went off a throw-in.
So Ryan's... who we've talked about how good his throws look.
Mm-hmm. It's classic. I mean, give and go.
Puts that up to...
And I think exactly right there I was hugging Luke.
Yeah.
That was great.
What a shot.
Yeah.
But just...
off a half volley like that?
Yeah.
Just...
A little dink in the box, back, know he's there, head is up, eye towards goal, and just buries it.
One touch, simple, it's right in front of you, you gotta do what you gotta do, and he did it.
It is...
It was really good, like his form on the shot even.
So good.
Yeah. That's what I've been saying, is like, when watching tape, when Noe was signed, and just watching him, his head is always up, and he's always got an eye towards goal. And he's working himself around in the box, in the play, to always find those good openings where he can get the service or he can provide the service. And it's just... it's why I want to see him out there more.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He almost has Labrador Retriever energy where, like, it's like focused on fetching a ball, but instead he's focused on scoring goals, where it's just like, okay, where can I score a goal? What's next? You know? And he's so energetic anytime he's around the goal, so it's great. That's what we need.
All right. Amir getting his yellow card, obligatory yellow for Amir, at the 77th minute, 76:50. And
it was a foul. I mean,
it was a foul, but it was not a yellow.
I think I agree with Camille.
I think it was a yellow.
Yeah.
Hey.
You go in to the side, you put your foot in, and then you put your whole entire body in.
I think that Fire player was already off the ground before Amir got there.
Probably, but...
But I also... This is another situation where 20 seconds earlier there was a foul on a Union player that didn't get called.
Yeah. That's a trend for this second half.
Very much. Yes. But I also really loved...
Look at that.
Yeah. Just that's what I was talking about in the second half.
Like, 77th minute. I mean, you just see it. The
The effort.
The effort from even the attackers to get the ball back.
Like, an attacker gets that ball 1 out of 100,000 times, but they just put the pressure on and make the play happen, so he has less time to pull the ball off.
Chicago is looking frantic at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
it's like they were like, okay, let's just get the 1 goal and get the hell out of here at halftime, and that's not what happened.
Yeah.
No, their defense broke down enough to let Noe get that in. And here, 78th minute, they are just looking frantic.
Yeah.
And here's a foul that actually was called our direction. If we can get that back 10 seconds, I would like to see how that hit, because that looks... That was an arm extended into that header.
Yeah.
Like, if Amir's was a yellow...
That definitely could have been called a yellow if we're going with the trend of what was called against Union.
And I think one thing you can pull out of that is the Chicago player committed the foul. It looked like it didn't feel too good for Noe. Noe stood straight back up, talked to his teammates, walked off. The Chicago player got up and started complaining to the referee.
Yeah, I like that attitude. Just get up and move on, you know?
Yeah.
There's a reason why, as we've discussed, Jay likes guys who've won things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you know you're a winner, you're not going into it looking for a fight every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's I from what I've seen from Noe so far, that seems like his mentality for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Here,
And I'm sure that has a lot to do with his personality, too. I haven't gotten to know him, but based on how he plays, he seems like a positive person, so that probably influences the way he plays.
Oh,
another dangerous ball into the box here. 86th minute, 85-30.
The look on the keeper's face after that happened.
Well, his defenders left 3 players essentially unmarked in the box.
There's 4 defenders in the box, 2 attacking players, and the goalkeeper does all of the work while the defenders are watching.
Like,
there's 5 after the punch.
Like,
and he's like...
I will say this. The Fire's...
They're very lucky not to concede there.
Yeah. The Fire's goalkeeper was not the reason they lost the game.
Oh, I agree.
Like, technically, yes, but...
But I don't think there's a ton of... I think Noe's shot probably could have been saved, but not... It would take a much better keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here, beginning of the 87th minute, 86-9, you can see Rashid's really starting to slow the game down, slow the pace down, trying to get the guys more aware that, hey, we've got another 30 minutes to play. What's this? 87th minute.
Yeah, and look at all the bodies forward in the 87th minute.
Is this Dion's finally on?
Yeah, and then
Dion has a nice through to Hugo, and just tries to back heel it through into goal.
Great.
And almost catches the keeper off guard.
Yeah.
Like that's
You get a little bit of pace on that ball and anything can happen with it.
Dion has such a great ability to beat the defenders as well. He's very attacking minded in that sense. Look at that cross.
Yeah.
Exactly finds Hugo, and I mean, that could have been a great goal.
Absolutely.
What a great chance from Hugo. I mean, that
I mean, going from us like yelling at him to shoot against Des Moines to trying to flip back heel a goal.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That's a huge difference.
That's so true. That's a confidence boost that you see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's got his first goal.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about very much with Des Moines and even Madison, like he just didn't have the confidence there in a lot of his attack.
Yeah.
But that goal, and I think the way it's kind of sunk in, he's had more time to gel with the guys. And I honestly think bringing Eddie on, a guy he's played with, has been big.
Yeah.
You know, you have an existing teammate that you've spent a couple years building chemistry with. Like, that's something you definitely you're noticing in his game a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a foul to me when we saw it live.
Yeah.
It definitely looked like he got dragged down.
I mean, as I said earlier on in this, Chicago was playing a very physical game.
Mm-hmm.
Which is... Oof. Here, 89th
Ninth minute.
88:08 starts the play.
Connor with the relaxed pass up to... Is that Joe? Joe. And Joe being able to... Oh, that's Amir.
Yeah.
Amir, he's very relaxed as well, making sure he's not hitting the ball to 5 defenders in the middle.
Well, Amir's already
Making
on a
that
yellow
easy
at this
pass.
point. He's got to be relaxed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just up there, puts it to Joe. Joe puts it in, and Noe, honestly, if he'd had that 3 feet to his left, I think that curl would have just gotten right by the keeper.
Yeah, it almost looked like in the replay, Hugo was wide open and asking for it. And honestly, that's Noe's goal mindset that we see, just eager for the goal, which I don't mind. I don't mind, especially when he scores.
I mean, his head was up. He's hungry. And, very much looking for it. Whereas 89th minute, Chicago's looking for it.
I forgot about
Or
this.
80, or 90th minute, I guess.
89.
89:01 starts it, and
I forgot
just-
this happened, actually. I think it was so traumatic that I blocked it out of my brain.
but a
This is scary.
good chip in, and
I would like to know what was going through Dalton's head right there.
I mean, I believe he got a foot on it. It was like,
yeah.
I mean,
Like,
that's,
the way Dalton is just like,
that's a
how did this, like...
Yeah, that's a 1 in 1,000 miss.
You can visibly see the stress from everybody in the panic.
Well,
I mean,
90th minute, and they miss a open... I mean,
well,
that
actually,
could have been a
you know
hand.
what?
that could have been so dangerous because that forward was winding up and he knew exactly where he was going to place it. But that one little touch from the toe ruined his idea. And, I mean, that just...
Now, an interesting sub for me here, 91st minute. Jay pulling off Joe Brito and putting on Giovanni Montestioca. Mm-hmm. Giovanni, very much a forward, very much an attacking player, whereas Joe has been covering the entirety of that side.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jay, do you think Jay's looking at it as he's trying to go for it in this moment, or is he planning for the extra time at this point?
That's a good question. I was sort of thinking that he knew that he had subbed Dion, Noe, and Hugo on, and he wanted an extra attacking player to get that goal, that extra goal.
Yeah.
That was kind of what I was thinking. It's almost the end of the game. Just throw it out there and win.
But Joe has been playing almost... Was he played 90 minutes on Saturday? Foul here in the 92nd minute against Union Omaha, not called. Leads to some frantic defending. And... Ooh. Noe has an attempt for a through ball. It just bungles off the feet, and
I think
he
it was
just
just
can't...
a split second too late to get it off.
Yeah. Had that gone through, that... Noe, you could tell he had that burst of speed ready to go. Mm-hmm. He was gonna be open. But Chicago pressing to end out regular time. Regular stoppage time. Here, 93rd minute, angry, hungry in our box.
But look at how Union Omaha is sitting back. I mean, that's the defensive mindset that we want to see from the team as a whole.
We're running drills.
Yeah.
you're throwing 3-on-1.
Yeah.
And it's like you're just running drills to close it out. Like you do this day in, day out. It's easy enough there. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Me too.
95 or 93-58 and
92-58
or 92-58. Chicago just puts a through ball and who's that somebody leads it off.
I don't know. That could have been dangerous.
Like
that was dangerous.
Dalton makes an attempt there, but
Dalton covers like the centering ball right in front of
him,
which is great.
Connor tried to clear it out and then gets smacked in like the collarbone because he ran into a player, and then that one Fire player is left in the back. Scary. Thankfully, the full time was up right after that. And then we moved to extra time.
Yeah.
What a experience the extra time periods were.
I mean, 1-1 into extra time, and then you finish extra time 2-2.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, here...
a lot happened.
Here, what's this? 96th minute foul just outside the box. Questionable whether or not it was in.
And this was something that I said last night that I wanted to ask Dalton, but I felt like Amir was maybe trying to go over the wall because you can see Dalton runs in behind the wall as if to go after a rebound.
Well, we've got 3 over the ball initially: Dalton, Noe, and Amir.
Yeah.
Not having Joe on at this point, I mean, Amir's been taking the corners and Joe's not available or when Joe's needed. But that's a very interesting one for, instead of laying it off low, letting it try to get around the wall, just putting it in there. And the one spot that's covered, like, great shot on target.
Yeah.
But I don't think the pace was ever going to be there to beat the keeper.
Yeah. This is probably selfish of me, but I would have loved to see Dalton take that. I've seen in his soccer career he's able to hit those top corners in that exact spot. So I hope that he was up there for that one.
Because the game would have been canceled and it wouldn't have counted.
That's true. We can't let him score this season.
Free kick, you can't really take a free kick goal away.
Yeah, and he
or a direct free kick goal.
I mean, the reason why I say this as well is because we actually saw him take one against Kansas City in preseason.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I hope he actually takes one in
here,
season.
103, pass back to Chicago defenders, and is that Hugo? No, that's Noe again. Steals the ball away with 2 forwards in dangerous position. Nice.
It's a dangerous shot, too.
It is. Like,
look at that combination play, though.
Yeah.
It was great.
Like, that was just... They're vibing.
Yeah. And was that Ed in the box ready for a cross? I mean, they know how to play with each other. I think that goes back to what you're saying with Hugo and Ed playing together. They're familiar with each other. They're ready to connect. And
it's a very smart team.
Yeah, yeah.
You can already tell that their intelligence is very high.
Yep.
All right, so this is tracking back a little bit in it, but Chris Johnson's asking for a discussion. There was a point where Josh said that Jiba was a bright spot in the second half. Discuss.
Bright spot.
I think that was when he was just making that really solid run. Really stood out. But if you we've kind of been pointing out,
Yeah.
he grew into the game. He's grown into this so far, and what we've been saying past few pods is he's going to grow to be one of the most dangerous talents on this team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the second half kind of just like streaking back and forth.
Mm-hmm. That's what we needed to see, and so it's exciting. I think that attacking mindset, now the confidence is there, and now we're starting to see him click with getting back to defend as well. What's happening here? What was next?
Okay. 109.
Oh, a red card. Oh,
that is. I mean, that's a. Considering how quickly yellows have come out so far in this game, I think this is past the point where Chicago Fire player hadn't even hit the ground and the yellow was already out.
He yanked his yarn.